Aloha, y'all. It is Tuesday, named after Tears Day, Tuesday, the 8th of April. Before I get into the astrology, I'm going to show you the cards just so your ADD keeps you attentive and stuff. So we got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the Four of Wands, and we've got as the wild card the Artist Oracle, Sophie Calle, who is an interesting woman we'll get to in a second. But if you're following along, you'll get these after the little weather report of what the astrology is at the moment. So the sun is at Aries, 18 degrees. Moon, Leo, 28 degrees. It's about to pop into Virgo. You'll feel that shift very soon. Next, 12 hours or so. Less, really. Mercury, 26 Pisces. It's gone direct. You'll feel that a little more clear, even though it's still all wacky and crazy out there in the world and internally. Mercury has gone direct. So Mercury, 26 Pisces. Venus, 25 retrograding in Pisces. They are still conjunct. Mars 26 Cancer, that's exactly trining Mercury and Venus. Jupiter 17 Gemini, Saturn 25 Pisces, that's exactly conjunct the Venus retrograde as well as Mercury, trining Mars. Uranus 25 Taurus, Neptune 0 degrees Aries, that's still technically conjunct Saturn. It's trining Mars, and it is still technically conjunct Venus and Mercury. Even though it's in Aries, it's mathematically still within a few degrees. Pluto, Aquarius, 3 degrees. North Node, 27 degrees Pisces. That is conjunct Mercury and Venus and trining Mars and conjunct Saturn and Neptune. Black Moon Lilith, 1 degree Scorpio. Chiron, 22 Aries. So Chiron, our wound, right? It's an asteroid, is conjunct by a few degrees the sun. So we're dealing with the wounds of the self and how we act and how angry we get and where we disempower ourselves and maybe where we overdo things as a self. It's like, oh, I just react and I don't care. I do what I want. Fuck you. It's like, pfft. So some of the major aspects today: the moon is squaring Uranus, the moon is trining the sun, Jupiter is squaring Venus, the Mars, our actions is opposite Pluto, change and death, right? So we're like, how do I nourish myself? I want to do things. I want to eat right and eat, pray, love, or whatever. And then it's like, actually, the revolution demands that you stop eating, ration your food and give all your bullets to the cause or whatever. That's the major stuff right now. So let's go into the cards. If you're an earth sign, the pentacles are your suit. So if you're a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, pentacles are naturally your thing. This is on page 164. I perfect the art of balancing responsibilities. Two of Pentacles is about striking a balance, reinventing yourself to suit your desires, riding the wave of challenge in your life. So at the core of the Starman Tarot, and he's been on my podcast, shout out. We have 306 episodes on the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. If you don't know, get on the wave like this surfer. At the core of the Starman Tarot, there sits the deck's trickster nature who plays with the traditional programming of the Tarot, turning things on their heads. Jupiter in Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, Jupiter in Gemini, rather. In this vein, I often fashion the earth out of the sky and the sky out of the earth, and enjoy pushing the boundaries with how the characters are visualized in the environments in which they find themselves. Traditionally, the character of the Two of Pentacles is depicted juggling two gold pentacles bound by a ribbon or cord, which forms a lamenscape, the infinity symbol. The character is placed firmly on smooth, solid ground, while two sailing ships are wildly tossed around on a volatile sea. Uranus and Taurus. This forms the story of his solidity as the chaotic and shifting world transpires in the background. However, I wanted to catch my character in a time slice as he surfed the sky on an infinity board, Pluto and Aquarius. He's riding the Back to the Future hoverboard. He is solid and sure in his own capabilities, particularly the foundational skill of balance. Even the volcanic eruption behind him is unable to shake his confidence. Moon in Leo, last degrees. Sun in Aries. He is earthed, yet not as we might expect. He is intrinsically motivated, has immense body awareness, and has married internal energy work with physical movement, like Qigong. He has, martial arts. He has learned how to align his body, center his awareness, allowing him to respond rapidly to any changes in his environment. He is a master of his art and knows how to adapt to whatever is coming his way, recognizing that in a state of flow, he is not moving, rather he is being moved. Right? Mercury in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, Mars in Cancer. We can go with the flow in a real way. North Node in Pisces. His adornments are in balance. Everything is playing out perfectly for him. He rides upon infinity, the symbol of things constantly in perfect repetition, representing the harmony of reinvesting your material gains into your gifts and passions. Right? So a toroid is a yin yang, but it's like this flowing yin yang. Everything is flowing into itself. It's not an accident that everything balances out in the end. So the cycle is never ending. Never ending story. Everything in the universe is reinvested. Both beneath the appearance of chaos sits perfect harmony and balance. At the root of your own life sits the same harmony, everything recycled and renewed in each moment. When faced with change, the turbulence of events that present themselves at times in life, you can ride them by maintaining practices such as having interests in relationships which nourish and support your core strengths and priorities. In the moment, you can center yourself with the power of breath, respond rather than react, allowing your natural state of balance and composure to be restored. With the sun and Mercury, or the sun rather, and Chiron in Aries, Neptune in Aries, like we can be so overreactive. Moon in Leo, last degrees, we can just react and cut off people's ears in the Garden of Gethsemane without realizing that it's a party foul and we're maybe hurting ourselves and others more than we realize out of sheer passion. I'm so against Trump. I'm going to protest and burn down a car. It's like, did you need to burn down the car or whatever? I'm so all about this stocks that I'm going to talk about stocks or crypto all the whole meal at Thanksgiving or whatever. It's like, slow your roll. Riding the waves of life, you learn to let go of the drama and return to equilibrium, gliding steadily on. So, striking a balance, reinventing yourself to suit your desires, and riding the wave of challenge in your life. The clarifying card is the Four of Wands. So, if you're a wand, you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, though we all have the fire of action in us, this fire of inspiration in us. On page 108, the number of mala beads on a Buddhist prayer necklace. I enroll others in the strength of my vision, Pluto in Aquarius, right? For the revolution. Set the stage for celebration, communicating and building your pillars of relationship and achieving a beautiful balance. Balanced on the biggest wave, as they say in Dark Side of the Moon. We can really find a balance here. Four of Wands is this balanced, integrated state in our actions and our inspiration, and we're grounding it as above, so below, as within, so without, in the world, in the real world, material, pentacles. So the last card we're getting is from the wild card today is from the Art Oracles deck. I was gifted this. It's great. Sophie Calle. She's a French artist on multiple fronts. She's not just one medium. So let's see what Sophie has to tell us. Sophie Calle's media included photography, text, video, voyeurism, oversharing, and unlawful invasions of privacy. Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter in Gemini, Sun in Aries, Moon in Leo. She did so much. In one of her first projects called The Sleepers, she found 23 people to continuously sleep in her bed in consecutive 8-hour sessions that included them being photographed and interrogated. For The Shadow, which came out in 1981, she had her mother hire a private detective who surreptitiously followed her, unaware that she was aware. How meta, right? Trickster stuff, Jupiter and Gemini. An address book from 1983, Cal called strangers found from a found address book, asking about its owner and publishing the transcripts as part of an imagined portrait of the man who found out and freaked out. Uranus and Taurus. And for her 2007 Viennese Biennale exhibition, Take Care of Yourself, Mars and Cancer, Cal asked 107 women to interpret a breakup letter she received. The prosecution rests. So the advice we're getting from her is put on a good show for the surveillance cameras. Like we're in a DAO, like a movie of consciousness, and everything is always watching, everywhere, all the time, all at once, or everything everywhere all at once, like the movie. How are we acting in the world? How are we balancing our internal and external? How are we chopping wood and carrying water, even though we want to be spiritual? How are we, providing financial security, even though we want to go off into the mountains and find God or whatever? Like, we've got to balance it out. Yin and yang, not either or, both and. And that's how we find the magic. This is, Tinkerbell with her magic wand. Pixie dust in that instance, but like she's bringing the magic. And when we know we have magic and we put on the best show in a balanced way, Sophie Calle's saying, put on a good show for the surveillance cameras. It's like Truman Show out here. So, I think you get what I'm putting down. If you've enjoyed this, tag somebody, leave a comment, like it, all that jazz. Holler for a reading. Leave a tip if you want. But holler for a reading. I give astrology readings and tarot card and oracle card readings, pendulum readings, all these readings. Check it out. And do check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. We've got our first, after 306 episodes, I Love Warhammer 40k novels, the literature and lore. We're having our first kind of major social media person of that world coming on. So that should be great. I'll post that link in the comments. catch y'all on the flip side. Enjoy your Tears Day. Adios.